Oh no. Oh my goodness. Ugh, making my stomach hurt. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon from wherever you are at. I am Bella. Welcome back to my channel. Halloween is on Friday. I am so excited. When you're seeing this, it'll be past Halloween. My apologies. But it is a spooky season up until Thanksgiving, as I like to say. Some may disagree with me, but that is totally fine. So I thought, what better way to celebrate Halloween than to read my first horror novel. Eee! Guys, I'm scared. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm a little nervous. I've read some thrillers, but I haven't read like a true horror. And I know this one is considered a true horror, and I have been told by people that it is quite terrifying, so I'm a little nervous. Today, we're gonna be reading The Troop. Oh gosh, I'm scared. One of the hottest horror authors on the planet. Lean and crisp and over the top disturbing, disquieting. I've been recommended this by so many people, one of them being one of my very close friends. So I have a feeling I will like it, but at what cost? Oh my gosh. The words are so small. How am I gonna be able to see? Holy mackerel. Anyways, so literally what better way to begin than to just begin, as one might say. Here it is. I'm scared. If you guys don't know what it's about, actually I can't help you with that because I don't either, so give me 1 second. Oh no. Oh gosh, I'm scared. I don't know if this is like Boy Scouts or whatever, but a guy brings out a group of scouts into the wilderness and there's something scary out there. There's something scary out there. Not human, not animal. Bioengineered nightmare, it says on the back. So wish me luck. Let's just pop this thing open and get started, I guess. Here we go. I'm scared. Lord help me. Birth control, birth control, birth control. Oh, you just sat down to read your book? Actually, you have to get up and take your birth control now. Biggest inconvenience in my life, but it's actually saving my life, so I can't complain, but I will. We've got a news article.
Bingo.
Oh, thank you.
It changed the color of it.
It does look weird. Thank you. Okay, long time no see. You don't need to know that, but I'm going to be honest with you. It has been a full week since I've picked up The Troop. I feel like I'm low-key slumping, trying not to freak out, but no worries. I think I'm about 25% of the way through. I just hit part 2 last week. So let me give you my thoughts and then we're gonna sit down and read. It's not even that I dislike it. First, let's talk about the writing. I think the writing is great. It is the most graphic book I've ever read, that is for sure. Like I said, haven't delved too much into horror or anything like this, so this could be overly graphic or not very graphic. I don't really know, but for me, it's pretty graphic. Not even in like a very violent way, but just very, very descriptive to the point where like if I'm eating and it's describing certain things, I'm like, ooh, gotta put my food down. I'm having trouble reading it while I'm eating. Don't know what that means. And again, I'm pretty good with gore. I think it was more, I was at a part where they were talking about a worm, you know, like a bodily worm. And then they started talking about feces and stuff like that. And while I was eating my breakfast, I'm sorry, it did make me lose my appetite a little bit, but I do like it. I think the characters are super, super interesting. We have this first infested character, if you will, a hungry man, and he is just so interesting. And things have happened since we have met him and what he's infected with, I think it's very interesting. We don't really quite know what's going on. And I can't tell like if what we found out is like what's happening or if it's just like a red herring, I'm not sure. As for the like main characters, the Scoutmaster, can't really tell what I think about him because something has happened to him since the book started and I can't tell if that's why I'm not liking him or if it's just genuinely his like character, like his, you know, his heart that I don't care for. I can't tell. Everybody's very likable, unlikable in their own ways. The boys especially. You've got Kent, who is this like athlete jock, low-key bully. You can tell he gets it from like his dad. His dad kind of seems like a piece of shit. And then you have Max and Ephraim are good friends. I can't really tell what I think about them yet either. And then we have Newt, who everybody picks on. Makes me sad. He seems so nice, but I guess I don't know much about him, but he seems super nice. He's just like a nerd. Let's not pick on nerds anymore. This is 2025. Then we have this character, Shelly, and I think he's like psychotic. Like maybe a killer? I don't know, he's really weird. He's got weird tendencies, weird thoughts. And also, how old are they? Are they supposed to be like 14? I've been imagining them as like 14-year-old boys, okay? So that is what I'm going with. If I'm wrong, please correct me. But I'm going with like 14-year-olds, okay? Which makes it even more scary. I could not imagine the Scoutmaster being in this situation. He was in a very high stress situation with this hungry man kind of invading on their space, potentially spreading this unknown sickness around, this unknown infection. The Scoutmaster has to make these like tough decisions about what the boys should do, where they should go, and who should be involved. I'm really excited to see where it goes. Those are my thoughts so far. I am on chapter 18 and we are just going to get started. Y'all, I feel so cozy right now. I got my sweatsuit on, I got my blankie, and I got my read. Let's do this. I think Shelly's psychotic, like actually. Weird. Okay, I read for about an hour. I read 70 pages and I've hit the halfway point. 53% of the way through the book. So far, a lot has happened. There's been some deaths, there's been more infections. We've gotten a lot of answers about what this contagion is, especially in those little bits. We get little excerpts from evidence logs and testimonies and news articles. I don't know when those are taking place. It has to be somewhat current, but honestly, I'm really liking it. It's keeping me engaged. I'm intrigued, but I just don't know where I stand on it yet. Also, I've gotten used to the gore a bit more and the in-depth details that it's been giving me. I'm just not really like too scared at the moment, if that makes sense. Like this is supposed to be a horror novel. A little bit towards the beginning, I was like, WTF is going on? And it was a little scary, but now that we're here, I don't know how scared I feel. So we'll see how the rest of this book goes. I'm gonna keep reading. Let's see what happens. Oh no. He's so weird. Oh, so he's killed animals. Interesting. Death of humans, I get. Death of animals, it's so sad. Ugh. Ew, it gives me the heebie-jeebies. Did you guys see that? Or am I tripping? This book is making my stomach hurt. Okay, y'all. I read for an hour and I read about 74 pages. I'm at around the 75% mark. Lots of things have happened. I feel like that's like all I can say without even spoiling anything in this, but I think this is very good. Like this is a very great horror novel, and I think it's a great horror novel for many reasons. One of them being it is insanely graphic and gory and very descriptive, and that alone makes you queasy. Which is pretty crazy. But something else I've really been liking about it is that it is a story about survival and it's a story about humanity, and seeing these characters, these boys, these 14-year-old boys deal with such a crazy situation that you're reading and you think I would never have to endure this. They are enduring it. Seeing just how each of them deals with it is really interesting because you get a lot of information in these pages about each one's personality and how they grew up and the things that they think and how they view life. For someone who's going into this just expecting, you know, terror and scariness and nothing quite too serious, getting this like insane character background on each of these boys and seeing how their definable personality traits came in handy or didn't come in handy while dealing with this conflict is so interesting. Really, really liking it. I think I'm gonna take a little bit of a break and then get back to reading it later. It's only 7 p.m. I'll see you in a bit. Alrighty, it is the next morning. I am just about to eat my breakfast. I thought we could read. I don't have very much left, you guys, so I'm definitely finishing this today. I'm just excited to see what happens because I just don't know where it's gonna go from here. There's just been no rules. This book has followed no rules whatsoever. It's just been crazy. So I'm very excited. Let's get started. This is bars. Max figured the crazy stunts must have bled away Eve's rage, the theory of displacement, like he'd seen demonstrated in science class. Problem was, God gave you one body. What you did with it was your own business, but the truth as Max saw it was this. You throw your body at the world hits it back. The world wins. So you had to take great care of what God gave you. Eve had never gotten that message. That's actually fire. Oh my gosh, I forgot he did that. Oh no. Oh no. Interesting. Okay. Oh my goodness. There's something wrong with him. Ugh. Alrighty, it's been about an hour. Changed shirts because I spilled on my other shirt. So that's super cool. I literally, look at that, little tiny bit left. I have 17 pages left. You guys, this was actually really good. The more I've been thinking about it and like how actually serious and insane this is, it's like actually crazy. I'll definitely talk about it more in depth at the end of the video, but I just wanted to say that I am really liking it. I am constantly in a state of either disgust, fear, or like hate almost for some of the people in here, particularly one person in here. I'm just like, ooh. It is time to finish this. Chapter 48, 17 pages left. Let's freaking do it. Alrighty, I am ready to talk about The Troop. Oh my goodness. I can officially say I've read my first horror novel. Yes. And it was the most terrifying, disturbing book I've ever read. Let's talk writing style, characters, and plot. Nick Cutter's writing style is very graphic, but also very cinematic. He absolutely did not shy away from the gross, gory details at all. You get every single detail. It didn't really feel like it was for shock value though. It felt very immersive. You just felt like you were in the story with them, which I don't want to be. Something else I really liked that was done in this book, I don't know if his other books do it, but you have news articles and reports and court testimonies sprinkled all throughout this book. I think everything about his writing style and everything that he included in this book just like added to the realism of the story. It just makes everything feel real. It makes you see and feel every little squirmy worm. And then going into the plot, it is fast paced and it is relentless. Like it does not let up the entire story up until the very end. And the story itself just built up so much tension until you get these like huge bursts of horror that feel just so shocking and so jarring, but you also know that they were inevitable because of the tension that was being built up. It just makes you feel so like anxious and panicked because you are in this with them. It felt very cinematic in its pacing, like you were slowly descending into this madness and into this chaos with the characters. And like the atmosphere just felt so suffocating, primal, and like eerie, but you also have like all of these underlying feelings of dread and desperation. The characters though, the characters made this story, like 100%. Let's talk about the boys. The boys just all very clearly represent these tropes of people that we have grown up with and that you know these archetypes. You have Kent, who is the leader, the alpha, the athlete. You have Newt, who is a nerd. He gets picked on. He's so incredibly smart. You have Ephraim, who is this loyal to a fault, clearly broken character character who has like severe anger issues. There's Max, who is the heart of this group of boys. He's clearly just a good kid and he exhibits that heart all throughout the story. And then you have Shelly, who honestly was my favorite element of the whole story. Because you have this like wild card character who seems so eerie and so mysterious. You're like, oh, he must be a psychopath. Oh, well, he is. And this added element of this boy who has this just dark demeanor, who has these dark intentions amidst a killer, quickly spreading worm that's infecting everybody. I just thought it was a great addition to the story. He honestly was the scariest part about the story for me. Some of the things that he did, the things that he said were so deeply, deeply disturbing. I cannot believe that there's people out there like this, because we know there's people out there like it, because we have documentaries on Jeffrey Dahmer. We have documentaries on Ed Gein. There are people like that. And it is so terrifying to think about and to read about in such graphic detail. And then to coincide with the kids who are desperately trying to deal with this chaos that their lives are descending into, you have adults in this story that have no idea what they're doing. I'm sorry, this is not a spoiler. Their scoutmaster, Tim, letting this stranger into their cabin with these boys was the dumbest decision he could have possibly made. It was ridiculous. It happens within like the first 50 pages of the story. Granted, there wouldn't be this if there hadn't been, you know, dumb scoutmaster. However, insane. The people involved in the government and in the military and the science lab and all of these things, I was just mortified. I could not believe what I was reading. This is a spoiler, so skip to this time if you don't want to hear it. But towards the end of the book, you find out that it is a possibility. It is a high possibility that this military and scientist duo willingly sent in the stranger, the sick, ill stranger that was carrying this parasite, to the island where they knew these kids were at as an experiment. That is mortifying to me. In what world is that okay? What makes it even more insane is that our government and our military and all of these things do that kind of stuff all the time. The realism. It's insane. I recommend this to all horror fans, specifically people who love survival horror and who love body horror. You are going to love this. If you like Nick Cutter already and haven't read this book, or if you like Stephen King or Craig DeLuey, I would say, I think you will love this. And if you're not a horror fan and you're wanting to dive into this, I would say you have to be able to stomach the graphic details that this book goes into. And if you can do that, you are in for the most disturbing and unforgettable read ever. I think that is everything I have to say about my first horror novel, The Troop. Oh, I'm rating it 4 stars. Sorry, I forgot to tell you that. As of just finished the book, 30-ish minutes ago, I would say I rate it 4 stars. Definitely recommend. Pick it up before the spooky season is over. And that is all from me today. Thank you guys so much for watching, for supporting me in this scary, scary journey that I just embarked on. I love you guys so much, and I will see you next time. Mwah!